Winston Churchill lost that debate. Most of the students sided with the liberal pacifists, with the cowards, with the appeasers. But his words stood the test of time. And eventually, history moved in Churchill's direction, and he was vindicated as a hero and as a man of immense courage. I believe that this is now the moment for Michael Savage. I believe that now this is his moment to now speak truth to power and to now say we are confronting the greatest evil of our time, and it is radical Islam. It is jihadism and Islamic fundamentalism. They are winning in Afghanistan. They are winning in Iraq. They are on the verge of a bomb in Iran. They are now taking over city by city, town by town, everywhere across Europe. And yet you in England, as in the 1930s, are hiding with your heads buried in the sand. But there is one man, Michael Savage, who will stand up and speak the truth. So my question to all of you, my friends, is, do you think Michael Savage should speak to the Cambridge Union? Do you think he should go by video link and defend himself? Or do you think this is a setup? Do you think that he is going to be smeared and heckled and demonized and attacked and ridiculed? I want to hear from you. 1-800-449-8255. 1-800-449-8255. This is Jeff Kuhner sitting in for the living legend, Michael Savage, on the Savage Nation. Savage.
The ridiculousness of Sacramento seems never ending. Find out how our politicians have screwed us lately and how you're getting screwed.
That's right. It's the John and Ken Show every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 on Talk 910 KNEW.
The issue is that in America, the First Amendment was written to protect offensive speech. We don't need a First Amendment to protect polite speech, do we? I mean, everyone engages in polite speech. What do we need protections for? It's speech which provokes thought that is considered offensive and hateful by those who disagree with you, isn't it? And so, therefore, it's only speech we're talking about, not the acts of murderers. And to lump me in with murderers is defaming me. It's libeling me.
If we fail, then the whole world, including the United States, including all that we have known and cared for, will sink into the abyss of a new dark age, made more sinister and perhaps more protracted.
That was first Michael Savage, and then, of course, the great Winston Churchill. This is Jeff Kuhner sitting in for Michael Savage. To all of you out there on the Savage Nation, the question before the House is, should Michael Savage debate the Cambridge Union via video link? Should he confront those in England who continue to support the ban against Michael, who continue to want to censor his thoughts? Freedom of speech is on the line here. I believe that this is going to be one of the watershed cultural moments in Western civilization. Here you have a major radio talk show host, one of the most powerful, influential people in the media, deliberately blacklisted and blackballed by the government in England. And all around us, the media remains silent, and in their silence, they are remaining complicit in this assault on democracy and on freedom of speech. And so my question to Michael is, and I think the answer hopefully will come next week, is he going to stand up to these liberal cowards, many of them who are going to be there at Cambridge, supporting his opponent, looking to ridicule, mock, demean, and shame him? And I believe that the Cambridge Union, thinking that they have set up a trap for Michael, have in fact painted themselves into a corner, because they're not banking on one thing, and that is Michael's profound verbal prowess, his incredible debating skills. He is going to smash his opponent. And just as Churchill smashed his opponent at the Oxford Union in 1934, so will Michael on October 15th. And for those of you that are interested in looking at this story more, please go to michaelsavage.com. You actually can see and read the invitation from the Cambridge Union. This is a major development. And, of course, we are now waiting Michael's answer. We're going to get to the phone lines, 1-800-449-8255. Yet I just have to say, to me, what I find very surprising has been the silence, especially of Fox News. This is supposedly our major conservative cable TV network, and yet they remain silent. In fact, apparently some of their own hosts are facing assaults on freedom of speech and even potential boycotts, and yet they remain quiet. And my question is why? And I think I know the answer. Because somebody like Michael Savage reveals a lot of the people at Fox News for what they are. They are phony conservatives, and he's not. He is the real deal and the real thing, and that's why they're desperately trying to avoid this story, but they can't. This is Jeff Kuhner sitting in for Michael Savage on the Savage Nation.
Roger Hedgecock coming up at 7. Now, the Savage Nation on Talk 910 KNEW.
This is Jeff Kuhner from the Washington Times sitting in for the living legend Michael Savage on the Savage Nation. 1-800-449-8255. Should Michael go to the Cambridge Union and via video link and debate those that want to keep him banned from Britain? Is this a case of censorship? Is Michael fighting for freedom of speech? I want to hear from you. I have to say, really, lately things in England have not been very good. I've been to England on numerous occasions. You walk through the streets, especially of East London. You will see radical madrasas. You will see radical imams and clerics right there on the streets of England saying death to America, death to Israel, death to Britain. They refer to Jews and Christians as monkeys and pigs. Many of them openly call for the killing of Americans and British soldiers in the Middle East. There is a jihad being waged by many of these groups, not only in England, but across Europe. And rather than standing up to the forces of evil and to the forces of hatred, we are now seeing a consistent policy of appeasement, both from England and from the Obama administration. And one of the latest things, which to me was a huge scandal and an eternal blot on England's character and integrity, was the shameful release of the Lockerbie bomber Abdelbasset Ali al-Megrahi. Here was a man responsible and convicted for the bombing of Lockerbie, where not only Europeans and British citizens were murdered, but many Americans were killed over Scotland in the late 1980s. And what did the British courts do? They released him on compassionate grounds, because he's now apparently dying. He's terminally ill. Oh, my heart bleeds. And now all of a sudden, because this thug, this animal, this mass murderer is suddenly terminally ill, they have to release him, and he is sent off to Libya to meet that other butcher, Muammar Gaddafi, the man who engineered this attack, who has American blood on his hands. And this guy, this terrorist, Ali al-Megrahi, who's been released by the British government, is literally given a hero's welcome in Tripoli when he lands in Libya. They salute him as a lion of Libya, as a man who has struck a blow for jihad and for radical Islam against the great Satan, the United States. Here is British conservative leader David Cameron. The British opposition is disgusted by this, and they have held Gordon Brown's government accountable. Here is the clip. Roll it, boys.
All we know is that there was a properly held court case, very exhaustively carried out, and that he was convicted on that basis and sentenced on that basis. As I said at the time, if people feel in some way the conviction is unsafe, the right route then is to produce fresh evidence and have a fresh appeal. I think the release on compassionate grounds was completely wrong.
You know what, David Cameron, I'm not a big fan of his type of conservatism, to be honest with you. He's what they call a red Tory, or a compassionate conservative like George Bush. I don't think he's a hero for many conservatives. But on this issue, he's right. There was no grounds for release, and certainly not on compassionate grounds. This man deserves no compassion. He is a mass murderer, an unrepentant mass murderer. And he has American blood on his hands. And the British government, to its eternal shame, released this man. And to me, my question is, what about the victims? Everybody's always concerned about the feelings of these radical terrorists. We're always worried about Guantanamo. They have 3 square meals a day. They get to read the Quran every day. They can watch sports on high-definition television. They can play volleyball and basketball. They literally, their biggest problem is getting sunscreen. They're getting too much sun. And the liberals are worried. Well, no, I mean, there's a couple of these diehard terrorists. We squirted water up their nose. We're torturing them, trying to get information. What are we going to start being concerned about the victims? What about those families who lost their loved ones over the skies in Lockerbie? What about those who have lost their fathers, mothers, wives, husbands, sons, daughters, who will never see them again? Their lives have been permanently damaged, permanently destroyed, permanently affected. All those whose lives were cut short because of this butcher. And yet this man is allowed, this al-Magrahi, this animal, to be paraded in Tripoli as if he's a hero. It is an absolute shameful disgrace. And that's why